Raider! Oakland, L.A., Oakland, Vegas, Raider Nation, wherever, forever! You got your old Uncle Mosh and Raiders Fan Radio from Murf's Man Cave, taking a lighter journey into the dark side. Sit back, put your feet up, pop a top, and enjoy the ride. Here we go!
Look left, look right, Bolitnikov, a leaping pass, touchdown!
We miss you, we love you, and we'll see you in the Hall of Fame.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.
Way up the middle, intercepted Filipiano at the 50, time running down. Oakland football, and I think Oakland victory.
The Oakland Raiders have scored on the most zany, unbelievable, absolutely impossible dream of a play. Well, I love this team. I think this team can win. I think this team can win.
What is up, Raider Nation? Welcome to another a fantastic episode of Raiders Fan Radio, live here with me, your old buddy Murf. And, you know, we're excited to be here, episode 147. We got a full lineup for you tonight. And, of course, down there adorning the southern end, actually, it's the western end of the annex to Murf's Raiders Fan Radio. That disembodied voice that you cannot hear is my one and only favorite, Uncle Mosh.
What's up, Raider Nation? Ron in the chat. Ron in the chat just says, what's up?
What's up,
What's
Ron?
up, Ron?
Thanks for
What's up?
showing up tonight.
So, Murf, I'm 61 years old.
I got it.
I've at times been 300 pounds. I should know better than to do the splits in my garage. But let me tell you what happened, Murf. I tore my ass.
Okay. How'd you do that, Uncle Mosh?
So I'm walking through. Okay. Let me tell you something. Hold on. Let me tell you something. I'm walking through my damn garage. And I should know better. I should know better.
Will you stifle yourself?
I should know better. But I'm walking through, and I'm walking fast. And there's some water on the floor, and I hit some water on the floor, and I did the splits. I did the splits, Murf, and I tore my ass. I could feel my ass tear,
My
Murf.
God, my glasses are fogging up already. Look at this, Raider Nation. They're fogging up already. Oh, my God. All right, Uncle Mosh. Well, we're sorry you tore your ass, but let's move on.
Yeah.
Hey, so what's today? Other than your ex-wife's birthday, what's today? What's today?
Tomorrow. It's one of those women I've been married to. I don't know.
Not this present one, the one before that. Yeah.
So 3 or 2? 2.
It doesnn't matter.
Okay. So it's the day before the Halloween with the
day.
kids.
So Halloween.
The costume. Halloween.
Do you have plans, Uncle Mosh? You got plans for Halloween?
You know, I'm 61 years old. I don't dress up so much. I mean, I do the theater and they teach the kids and they wear their stuff and they do their thing and they're great. But I don't dress up so much myself. But I thought maybe this year I might go as somebody.
What are you going to dress up as?
I think I'm going to go as you.
As Uncle Mosh?
Yeah, I'm going to go as Uncle Mosh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
How about you? You got any big plans?
You know, again, I'm 15 years younger than you, but I think I'll go as Murf.
Good.
I'll go as Murf. You go as Uncle Mosh.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
This is riveting radio. Riveting.
What is up, Raider Nation? Your old buddy Murf back once again for what we hope to be fantastic episode of Raiders Fan Radio. Episode number 147, live here in Murf's Fan Cave. And you know what's funny about all that is that we did a Halloween extravaganza spectacular show last year.
What do we have, 9 viewers?
And we had 9 people watch it. So we thought this year we'll do a little Halloween thing, but we'll just kind of play as each other. And the funniest part of all of this is that as I welcome back into to Murf's Fan Cave, to the Western Annex of the Murf's Fan Cave desk, the one and only Uncle Mosh, that story I told is true. So when you see us this Friday at the Raider game,
God.
and Uncle Mosh is limping around the parking lot, it's because he really did tear his glute.
Dude, I've had my share of pain in my life, right? And we're not going to talk about divorces, but I've had my share of pain. I stuck my finger in a radial arm saw. I've had stitches from stem to stern. When I hit that spot in the garage and I went down, and it was 5:45 in the morning. All I had to do was turn the light on, but I'm like, no, it's my garage. I know where everything's at.
Yeah.
You know, and I went down, and I'm not built to do the splits, and I went all the way, and I heard the rip. I felt the rip, and I thought, I just split another pair of pants. No, it wasn't. It was internal. And if you've ever pulled a glute, I'm telling you, I went and saw the trainer, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, and you're how old? And I told her, and she's like, maybe 8 weeks.
Oh.
And I'm like, what can I do? And she's like, sit. And I'm like, no, sitting hurts. I drive an hour to work every day. I have to stop 30 minutes in and stand up. I know. It's the worst. But hey.
So you are on the IR for the Raiders game.
So I'm on the but we're not that ain't stopping me. We're gonna get a D-lot pass. We got it.
We got it.
We're there.
Yeah, we're there.
So Ron goes, Mosh is now gluten-free.
Yeah, you are. And how about what he said? I like how he referred to us as, or Pirate 1975 referred to us as Mush and Morf.
Mush and Morf.
Yeah,
nice.
that was
nice.
Good. Hey, shout out to Chad, Uncle Mosh, while we're in there.
Man, Adam Hill, Coach Davis, Mojo, Super Deuce, Diablo 77, Tampa Raider. Of course, Ron is here. Wyoming Raider. Mike Lee is here. Let's see. Who am I getting? Pirate 1975. Rev Raider. Man, everybody is here. Everybody is here. I'm so fired up.
Good stuff. Yeah, busy night there tonight in the chat room. Kendall Hansen just popped in there. The Big Easy. Appreciate all of you for checking us out here in Murf's Fan Cave. Appreciate the support of Raiders Fan Radio. So as I mentioned, this is episode number 147, and thank you, Uncle Mosh, for being here tonight, despite your hindquarters injury there.
Oh my word!
And we're going to talk a lot about the upcoming game against the Lions. We're going to have a lot of fun, and hopefully get to see and meet a lot of you out there for that. But before we get to that, we got a couple things we want to tell you about. Number one is that you can support this show in a multitude of ways. Most importantly, recently, is that most importantly recently is that you can support us here at YouTube by subscribing. Smash the bell, as the kids say. Help us out by subscribing to the YouTube channel. That is youtube.com/Murf's Fan Cave. And you can also subscribe to us. We are an audio-based show first and foremost, even though as much as we do love this YouTube thing, you can subscribe to us on audio podcast. Anywhere you can find a podcast, you can find us. And just subscribe to us there. And Mosh, we've recently, we've got a lot of attention with this little show of ours, and so we're thankful for the response and the many folks that have reached out to us in different ways. And so we had this marketing company reach out to us, and so we're going to partner with them, and we're going to do some work with them, and they're going to promote our show, and in turn, we're going to give them a little bit of real estate here on Raiders Fan Radio, and so you're going to hear some ads, not on the YouTube version, but those of you that listen to us via audio, there's going to be a couple little ads that get inserted at the beginning and maybe in the middle of the show, and so that's what's up with that, and so
it's a match made in heaven, Murf.
It really is.
They help us promote, and you and I mean, we're just a couple of guys that do a podcast.
Yeah, that's it.
And they like you said, reached out to us, and they know how to do the stuff that we don't know how to do.
We don't know how to do.
We can push a button, we can smash a bell. I can hit the don't like
the
thumbs down.
Yeah,
but they can help us get more listeners.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're number what? Number 3 in the Ukraine.
And
we're shooting for one.
Yeah, and Costa Rica and Romania, and you know,
yeah.
and I'm pretty sure we're top notch in the Canary Islands.
There you go.
I'm just saying. So anyway, so that's what you're going to hear for audio podcast wise going forward. So just little 15-second ads. It's not a big deal, and we appreciate your support in that way. All right, Mosh, we always refer our episode number, which this week is 147, back to something significant.
What's that? Jeff being gone?
Oh, yeah. So swag. So there's the swag can. It's which is an empty can.
Yeah,
no
it's
swag
an empty
tonight.
chair. And why? Because he's at remedial reading lessons.
Oh my gosh, he kind of.
He struggled just a smidge.
Let me just say this, Mosh. In your absence, I hope that those regular listeners of Raiders Fan Radio and those here in attendance recognize how tough of a job that actually is.
Thank you.
It ain't easy reading through all those emails.
Well, and they come from Europe, so I'm doing a lot of translating.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, on the fly.
The Queen's English all the way to this English, which is what? Like Northern California / Iowa / Middle Tennessee English?
Don't forget I lived in Donkeyville for a while and Utah.
Oh, yeah, you sure did, huh?
Yeah, man, I've progressively made my way east.
Yeah, so hey, New Jersey.
New Jersey. Hey, I already got a plant there. So, hey, I got my guys.
You got your guys. All right, so as much, I don't even know how we got on that. We were going to,
we're talking about Swaggy.
Oh, yeah, so Swaggo is not here tonight, but he is here in spirit, and he will give us the report on episode number 147.
Murf, Uncle Mosh, it's Swag Jeff. So I'm currently not here, but I am here in spirit. And I'm bringing you 147. This is episode 147 of Raiders Fan Radio. So back in 1994, Raider great Timmy Brown had 89 receptions for 1,309 yards and 9 touchdowns. But he averaged 14.7 yards per reception. And if you don't like that, you know we hit a big milestone today. So today, as of 12:14 p.m. Central Time, where we're from, we have officially 96 hours and 51 minutes until we are sitting in the Oakland Alameda Coliseum for the Raiders and Lions. 96 plus 51, what's that equal? I think it's 147.
Oh, look
Love
what
you guys.
Did. You're the best, Swaggo. Good job, buddy. Good job, Swag. Appreciate that. Tie back.
Ron says the ghost of Swag.
The ghost of Swag. That's right. Those of you watching on the YouTube.
Coach Davis, Swag's growing on me like a fungus.
Oh, nice. Nice. Good stuff there. Appreciate Swag on the 147. And I hope glad he's gotten over that bee sting. All right, so Mosh, the first segment we do here on Raiders Fan Radio, and guys and gals, those of you listening, probably going to be a semi-quick show tonight. We got a lot. You're going to get sick of us. You hear me say that once in a while, like before the draft. I was like, you're going to get sick of seeing us after a few days. You're going to get sick of seeing us by, what, Monday, Mosh? Because we're going out to, and I'm going to talk about all this here in a minute, but we're going out to Oakland on Friday. We got the foundation dinner, Blitnikoff. Oh, in fact, let's show that check off because we are proud of that. We're proud of you guys, RFR listeners, that have helped us raise that money. That's $2,000. It's getting donated to the Blitnikoff Foundation on your behalf. We're going to present that on Friday evening at their annual Crab Fest dinner, and that will be myself, Uncle Mosh, and Sonny, his second favorite nephew and co-founder of this show, and then Swag Jeff. So the four of us will be there live at the Crab Fest dinner to present that check on your behalf, and so appreciate you. So we're doing that for that, and we're doing that on Friday. And then on Saturday, we're going to kind of have a day about town. We're going to explore the Bay Area a little bit, kind of go do some fun
never
stuff.
been to the Bay Area, so we're going to show him some stuff, the city.
You got to go eat sourdough and clam chowder and, like, you know what I mean? You got to do the thing. And so we're going to do that, maybe catch up with a Sharks game. We're just going to kind of play around the Bay a little bit. And then Sunday, of course, we're going to be at the Oakland Coliseum. So anyways, we're going to live stream. We're going to do RFR's tripping. We're going to record. We're going to do lots, and especially at the game, we're going to show off the Made Men tailgate and have a big old time. So you're going to get sick of seeing us. So this is my long way of saying this is going to be a short show, which means it'll be 2 hours long. All right. So
we laugh because when we talked on Sunday, I had some stuff I had to do, and I in the morning I couldn't come over, and I go, Murf, I'm not going to be able to make it. And you're like, no, I got it. We're going to be spending the next 4 days together next weekend.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's probably best that we don't see each other
exactly.
up until show night.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's right, because we'll all be in airplanes, vehicles, hotel rooms, all that stuff together. We got the RFR crew getting together. And so speaking of that, the first bit of respect I want to give here on this top segment is to the man that when he goes to work, Mosh, defends our freedom, and that's one Mojo Raider. He'll be coming up from San Diego to have kind of be the base of operations for our tailgate there. This is Mojo and our main men, our crew, Aaron the Q-Dog Raider, Ramon, who am I missing? I'm like, it's Big Raider Trucker.
Big Raider Trucker will be there.
Those guys have taken it upon themselves to kind of do this thing, and we are incredibly appreciative of them and incredibly thankful, and Mojo's kind of spearheading the effort. And so we've got D-lot passes on our own, and I think we've got 3 altogether between all of us. So we're going to hopefully have a 3-space spot there where we can all link up and one way or the other. Again, Mojo's going to be cooking San Diego street tacos and kind of be the base of our operation.
I won't be far from there.
No, you won't. You won't. With a broke butt and tacos going, you're not drifting far from the tailgate, Mosh.
Oh my gosh!
But so that said, kind of our plans for the day, and we've got a lot of people reached out to us on social media. Like, hey, we want to meet you guys, or what are you guys going to be doing, or where? You... So here's what we got. We're going to kind of be all over the place,
right?
So we'll have we'll kind of post up where the made men are. That's going to be in the D lot. But then also our good friends Kenny and Che, who do the Pillaging podcast, they do their live show from the A lot. So we're going to wander over there and go see them. We'll be at the Black Hole Tailgate, which is right in between the A and the D lots. So we definitely got to go there. You're the official member of the Black Hole around here.
Right. Oh, I got it. So I'm making an appearance for sure.
Got to go by there. And so we'll be there. You've never been to Raiderville. Neither is Swag Jeff. That's where the food trucks are. They do the concerts and they do the live radio broadcast. And so we've got to go to Raiderville and go check that out. So we're going to be all over. But I'll just say this. If you see us, come say hi. Come shake a hand. Come introduce yourself. Like, definitely come by. We won't be hard to spot.
Now, I know I'll be wearing this jersey.
All right. That's your number 60.
So it's my number 60. And then on the back, it says this.
It says, of course, Uncle Mosh. There you go. So it's...
Now, and more than likely, I'll be with Q. He'll be right with us because, Q's not afraid of a few eats. So we're going to be sampling. We're going around with the sample platter.
Sampling,
and his,
grazing, I think.
Grazing is the term, and I think doesn't his say
Q-Dog
on the back, right?
Yeah. And Jeff's jersey says Swag Jeff on the back.
So there's a great picture of Q and I from the draft with our backs to us.
Sure
so
is. Absolutely.
We're not going to be hard to miss.
Absolutely. Not hard to miss. And I'm pretty sure Mojo has a custom jersey too. So yeah. And then I'll probably wear my shirt that says Murf's Fan Cave because I'm not afraid to self-promote.
There you go.
So
there you go.
We won't be hard to find. So definitely, if you see us, flag us down, come say hi, and just enjoy the tailgate, man. It's going to be a blast as we go in there and whip the Lions. Back in Oakland for the first time in, I think, 49
days. That's
Unreal.
Crazy.
Unreal. All right. So Mosh, next bit of respect I want to give is to a local guy. So whether you're listening to us in the Bay Area or you're listening to us where we podcast from, which is Middle Tennessee, Will Compton, who is a former Titan and now lives in Nashville, where Mosh and I live just outside of, he is now signed with the Oakland Raiders. So he's going to be playing linebacker for the Raiders. He was signed to really as a depth player. Don't expect to see him start over Taylor Whitehead, but definitely expect to see him play, probably some special teams, and then come in relief for somebody like Tyre. But the cool thing about Will is that not only is he an NFL player and now he's a Raider, but he's also a podcaster. Like, they have a very successful podcast called Bussin' with the Boys that he does with Taylor Lewan, the offensive tackle for the Titans. And I just love his tagline on his bio, Mosh, says, possibly retired but doesn't know it yet. Not anymore. Now you're a Raider,
You're
Will.
a Raider.
So
welcome.
Welcome. Absolutely. Look forward to seeing him don the silver and black and then maybe take the field on Sunday while we're there.
Here's a question I have for you, Murf.
Yeah.
Since he's a fellow podcaster,
and
he's the first one that's been a fellow podcaster, if we have him on our podcast. Is this the jinx breaker?
I think it might be, because if anything, he may not get cut from the Raiders like every other Raider that comes on our show, but maybe somebody will cancel his podcast. But I don't think you can cancel a podcast. So I think he's safe.
But he had a Titans podcast, so I don't think it's in direct competition.
No, and it's actually kind of funny because it's not necessarily a direct Titans podcast, because they've had Kirk Cousins, they've had Jalen Ramsey, and it was funny when they had Jalen Ramsey on, because the Titans and the Jaguars are big rivals,
right?
And when they had Jalen Ramsey on, Taylor Lewan like straight up asked me, he goes, "What the F are you doing here?" That was his first question. What the F are you doing on this show? So it's pretty funny. So anyways, definitely want to celebrate those guys and give Will Compton much respect. And don't you know, a Compton Raider jersey is going to sell like hotcakes.
Can you believe it? Oh, yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. All right, so one last one. We're going to give respect, Mosh. I got my hat over here. Where's my XFL?
Which hat?
The old school.
Oh, come on. Come on.
That's old school XFL right there. That's old school, like He Hate Me, XFL, Mosh. We were big fans of this.
We loved the XFL.
We love the XFL. We're big wrestling fans, and when the XFL started back in 2000 or whatever it was, we were big fans of the league. And so for those of you that don't know, the XFL is coming back. They're going to be a secondary league to the NFL, and in typical Vince McMahon wrestling fashion, they're not shy of a fist fight.
No,
right?
Not at
all.
all.
So this week, Antonio Brown came out. And yes, that Antonio Brown, and yes, we're bringing him up, but only because he looks like a chump in this story. He brings up, Mosh, to the XFL that he doesn't think that league is going to last 3 weeks. And so that league that we mentioned, helmed by the one and only Vincent K. McMahon, how did they respond, Mosh, on social media?
So it's XFL at Real XFL Football responds thusly. Antonio Brown doesn't think we'll last 3 weeks. While he is an authority on such matters, he's just mad that we don't want him because he's a pain in the ass. Hashtag XFL 2020.
Oh, man. But he must have been doing splits in his garage, too.
He must have been.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
So good. So anyways, props to the XFL. Much respect. And, I kind of kicked around the idea of doing an XFL podcast, Mosh, and I don't think I've completely abandoned that idea yet. We'll see how that goes.
I don't know. It might be kind of fun.
Might be kind of fun, man. Might be kind of fun. So we've got we've already got the XFL podcast or XFL radio Twitter handle and stuff. It's ours.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
It might be kind of fun.
Good.
We'll see what happens when we get there. But anyways, much respect to all those folks. And all right, Mosh, let's go ahead and jump into it. Episode number 147.
Oh my gosh. All right, boys and girls, pay attention. You got your old Uncle Mosh here with an update. That's right. I got some stuff for you. Take out a piece of paper, a pencil, a pen. Heck, use your pocket knife and carve the info into your dashboard as you're driving down the highway. First off, you need to like us on our fan page on Facebook. That's right. Go to Facebook at Raiders Fan Radio Podcast. Don't forget about the Twitter. You know your old Uncle Mosh, he twits now. That's right. Go to at Raiders Fan Radio. Also, don't forget the Instagram at Raiders Fan Radio. Or what about our website? That's right, RaidersFanRadio.com. Heck, if you want to, you can even email us, show at RaidersFanRadio.com, or call us on the Raiders Fan Radio hotline, 909-345-3346. That's 909-345-3346. Don't forget Murf's Fan Cave on the YouTube, where you can get all the show links like the Fan Club Blitz with Splatterhead and Fitz. Find all our stuff on podcast providers like Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Play. All right, did I hit the time limit? Good.
All right, Raider Nation, so we got a fun story here at the top. So I'm really liking, Mosh, the character of the Raiders. I like that, we celebrate all these guys pictured here behind me, all the great Raiders of the 70s, heck, a lot of them even from the 80s, the great characters of the Raiders. We did an extensive segment on the character of the Raiders last week, and now players like, Max Crosby, Jonathan Abram, right? Like, we've got some fun characters now on this team. Well, last week when Vinny stepped in for Swag and a Swollen Tongue to read the emails, he kind of stumbled on one of our players' last names. Who
It wasn't Alzado.
it was Foster Moreau, who
Right.
also is proving to be a character. He's pretty funny.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
He's great. And so I told Vinny it's okay because he was like, "Is it Moro? Muro?" And I go, "It's okay, buddy. Don't worry about it." I go, "You got it. You're close enough." And so this week, HBO released a clip of John Gruden from Hard Knocks. It didn't make the show, and it was completely in line with that sentiment. And it is this: we have a linebacker on our team named Nicholas Morrow, Morrow. All right. We have a defensive end named Josh Morrow, Mauro.
Right.
And then the aforementioned tight end, Foster Moreau, Moreau. So they released this clip of Gruden talking about the Morrow family, and it's freaking awesome.
Just for the room here. What's your last name, son?
Morrow.
What's your last name, son?
Morrow.
What's your last name?
Morrow.
Will the real Morrow break us down?
Let's go, yeah. Let's go. Family on three. 1, 2, 3. Family.
Let's go, Mouse. Let's get the Mauer family going today. Morrow, Moor. Let's go, Mauers. Morrows. Moreau.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. So we got Morrow, and Moreau. Oh my gosh, too good.
Too funny.
It's too funny,
funny.
man. Love Gruden, man. Good stuff there from John. All right, Mosh, we played a football game this last Sunday.
We did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we played a game. Let's talk a little bit about it. We're not industry experts. We're not NFL analysts. We're a couple of knuckleheads with a podcast, 2 microphones, and 2 opinions. But we will give you our take. We love the fact that you guys, respect our take on these things. And so we'll go ahead and share ours with you. You know, Mosh, I heard him today talking about, I forget which sports talk show it was on, but they were talking about the favorites in the AFC. And you're talking about the New England Patriots are by far the favorite in the AFC. As much as we may hate them as Raider fans, they're the class of the NFL right now. They're literally playing defense better than the 85 Bears and the 2000 Ravens.
Right.
Like, let that soak in, Raider Nation. Like, it's crazy how good they are. Oh, yeah, and they got the greatest quarterback of all time. Like, it's bananas. So it's the Patriots and then everybody else. Well, that everybody else consists of who? The Kansas City Chiefs, the Indianapolis Colts, the Houston Texans, right? Pretty good football teams. Well, we lost to 2 of the 3 of those teams. So keep it in perspective. When you lose a game to the Texans, we're not losing to chumps. We're losing to a pretty good football team. The other games we lost, kind of the same thing. We lost the Minnesota Vikings, probably going to contend in the NFC for a Super Bowl. Green Bay Packers, probably going to contend in the NFC for a Super Bowl. You know, aside from maybe the Saints, like you're talking about 2 of the 3 best teams. Like these we're losing to at least legitimate teams. Now we got a nice, I'm not going to say easy because the NFL doesn't have a such thing as an easy schedule. But in terms of winning percentage, the Raiders rank among the 8 easiest schedules from here out. So there are some very winnable games. So from this point out, if we're playing the Titans and the Chargers and the Jets and teams like that, these are games that we should win. So as much as this was a little heartbreaking in Texas, you know, especially coming off the heels of Willie Brown passing, which we didn't get a chance to talk to Mosh about yet, get his take on it. But, I mean, it was kind of look, football never comes down to one play, Mosh, but sometimes it does. And when you look at the way that game ended, we were a sack away from winning that game. We're a Tyrell Williams catch away from winning that game. Earlier, we're a Trayvon Mullen pick 6 away from winning that game. Like, those are the plays that a championship team makes, a good playoff team makes. And so, again, it never comes down to one play, but sometimes it does. And any one of those things goes our way, which it very likely could have. We win that game, and then we're maybe, more of the talk of the NFL. But from here out, playing the Lions, playing these teams, these are the games that we're going to win. I think, I hope. That might be my phantom talking, but I think we stand to get into a real good spot before we hit the backstretch of our schedule. But I'm not going to get too tore up about this game, Mosh. Deshaun Watson's a stud, took a foot to the eye, escaped a sack and threw a touchdown pass. Like, I mean,
Unbelievable.
But give me your take.
So I texted you right after the game, and I said, our big guys, our trenches. Our trenches was what got me, man. I love it, I got an affinity for the big guys anyway.
Yeah, you do.
But our guys, man, our guys in the trenches, they kicked butt, man. They absolutely kicked butt. We made mistakes. We always make mistakes. You know, you don't get a moniker of the most penalized team of the 1970s for nothing. You know, we've got a history of mistakes. We've got a history of penalties. But our guys, man, there was no people going, oh, they quit in the third quarter or they quit.
No, there's no quitting this team.
There was no quitting this team. You know, yeah, we had a bad call at the end of the game. We had with the holding call. We had some tough breaks.
Yeah.
We had a couple of dropped balls that would have changed everything. But I couldn't help watch our offensive and defensive lines were amazing.
We really are.
When Key gets a sack,
hey
we're
now,
doing something good.
And finally,
and it kept him off the hit list. We'll hear more about that later.
Absolutely, it did. And let's compliment what you had to say there, Mosh, because you're absolutely dead on. So the offensive line did not allow a sack for the fourth time this year. They become the only team in the NFL to hold 4 different teams without a sack. So all the crap that we were giving Tom Cable earlier in the year and all the injuries aside, including our freaking rock star center, Rodney Hudson, like the line is still holding up. The Raiders are second in the NFL now with 8 sacks allowed. The only times in franchise history the Raiders allowed fewer sacks in the first 7 games, 1970 and 2016, when they allowed only 7 sacks. So, to Mosh's point, the line is balling. You're right. You absolutely called that. And when you look at the Trent Brown, and we're going to hear from Brian Baldinger here in a minute, flung J.J. Watt is a large, strong man, and Trent Brown literally flung him around.
Yeah.
And Gabe Jackson finished him off. Look, our line is seriously impressive. I'm not going to call out any of you in particular. I'll just say this. If you were critical of Colton Miller before, I hope you're eating crow now. Because Colton Miller caught 10 kinds of crap last year for his play. And for the most part, the offensive tackles have their jump in their second year. You don't judge a tackle by year 1. You judge them by really the strides that they make in year 2. Anybody heard from Colton Miller? No, because he's doing his job. He's doing his job. He's playing great. When we signed Trent Brown, they gave us crap. Well, you're signing that guy to play right tackle? He's the best left tackle in the game, or one of them, whatever, and you're going to put him at right tackle? Yeah, because the coaches knew more than we did. Go figure. And so Colton Miller's playing awesome at left tackle, and Trent Brown's holding it down on the right side. And I'm just proud of our line. I'm proud of our team. You know, we've had some stinkers, man. And what Mosh said, sometimes this team has fallen off and it's quit and it's laid down. There is none of that in this football team. And so I hope you are as proud of our Raiders as I am. And because man, they're playing well. And I know 3-4 is not ideal, but what did you expect? All right, so. Real quick before we move on to some of the specifics of the game, how about the Zay Jones? He's become famous for the way he stands up, Mosh. Did you see that?
It's crazy. They're calling it levitating.
Yeah.
Levitating.
Yeah. We need to come up with a fun nickname for that because the guy, he pushes himself up. So he's basically doing like a push-up, Raider Nation. You picture, well, if you haven't seen it, picture it in your head. And then like somehow he gets his feet underneath him, but they're not underneath him. And he it's the craziest thing. He almost he's like, those parking things that come down and then when they go up.
Yeah.
That's what he looks like. He's like one of those parking things that come like this.
I think I'm looking it up right now. I think there's stuff on the inner tube. The inner tube.
Oh, you just invented something new.
Jeez.
That's
Yeah. It's the inner tube.
Tube.
It's when it's just in your house.
That's when you just watch videos of yourself. And
yeah. Chris Potts says he's using his Jedi powers.
Oh, yeah.
Don't start, Potts.
Oh, here we go. So let's talk about the Rise of Skywalker. Don't get me started. Where's my lightsaber? Hey, I think the Rise of Skywalker is Anakin, Mosh. I don't think it's Rey or.
Will you stifle yourself?
I'm telling you, it's going to be Anakin. I think we're going to see a Hayden Christensen appearance. I think we might even see him.
Will you stifle yourself?
I think we're going to see a lot of Force ghosts in this thing. It's going to be really, really cool.
And now for something completely different.
So do you think it's a clone of the Emperor Mosh?
So now, for something completely different, let's talk about Raiders football. What's Baldy saying?
Let's listen to Brian Baldinger and Baldy's breakdowns as he breaks down the offensive line, what we just talked about, and how Josh Jacobs is running behind them.
Now, without even looking at this play, the Texans don't have enough players to defend this play. Because they're going to run right behind Waller and Trent Brown. And Trent Brown he can create his own eclipse right here. He basically just covers up JJ. Like, JJ just disappears. Now, Waller goes up, he does his thing on Cunningham. Now, this is an alley cat. This is a different kind of cat now. Like, we don't see many guys like this come into the league. He's just going to run right by that safety. This Scarlet now jumps on his back. Just count him. Just count the yards he takes this linebacker for a ride. 1, 2. Look at the steps. It's a different cat. Different brand of football right there. That cat is just different. He got power, and he got a line in front of him, and they're nasty, and the Raiders are going in place.
Awesome stuff. So Baldy, I don't know why, but he always cuts his videos off like when he's like mid-word. So when you hear those abrupt endings, that's not us, that's him. But yeah, he's proud of the Raiders and proud of where they're going. And when you watch Josh Jacobs, man, when he run through, and he's carrying guys like 5-6 yards on his back, man, it's really, really impressive. Good stuff there. All right, so so I'm going to kind of set this one up because for those of you that are listening on the audio, basically this is a slant route on a pick play, right, from the tight end spot. So Waller is running like a 7-yard slant inward, and then after the pick, I think it's Renfro that comes off and picks off his defender.
Right.
Normally that route continues through to the middle of the field, but instead Waller like bends it and turns it into a corner, and that's the pass that Carr hit him on a touchdown. It's really it's surprisingly enough, you don't see this route often, especially not from a tight end, and this is just a kind of a tribute to the athleticism of Darren Waller. And let's hear Brian Baldinger break this thing down.
This, after watching 10 games so far this weekend, for play of the game. Play of the week right here. Darren Waller, Terrell Williams on the pick play, right? Everybody runs this cross, man coverage. Except the Raiders have a little different wrinkle. Whoop! Oh, my. 46 yards and a touchdown on 3rd and 7. I'll just rewind it and let you watch this. Watch this route by Waller. Waller and Williams here. All right, there it is. There's the cross. Whoop. That's the play of the weekend so far. Congratulations to the Raiders, man. I put them up 8, I think.
There we go. Good stuff from Brian there talking about that route. Yeah, it was really cool for those of you that don't remember it or didn't catch it, man. It's the way he bends that thing out. So athletic for a tight end. And Swaggo was telling me today, Mosh, that he's on the short list of comeback player of the year.
No
Darren
kidding.
Wallers. Yeah. Very, very cool. And Josh Jacobs on the short list for rookie of the year.
Wow. How cool would that be to have a couple of them?
Oh, my gosh. I know, right? All right, one more from Brian Baldinger, and this one's my favorite. This is him talking about Big Trent Brown, man, and just kind of how he was just wrecking shop there against this game, against the Texans in this game.
All right, listen, you Raider Nation. Listen to me. Knock on wood if you like what you see right here. Can I get a little? Trent Brown. Gabe Jackson. Can I get a little? Please. Watch this. Reader, down. JJ. Bam. Down.
It's like about JJ Watt.
Hey, go get him. Finish. Look at this stuff. Look at this stuff the Raiders are. Look at that incognito. Bam. Trent Brown just reminds you of that big bouncer that just blocks the whole freaking door. He ain't getting by it. He don't need a weapon. Yeah. He don't need a billy club. He don't need nothing. Look at Trent Brown. Just throwing bodies around. Gabe Jackson finishing. Can I get a little knock on wood right here? Like, this is good football. Man, they're getting close. I love it.
There you go. He cuts himself off again.
I love it.
Isn't that great?
He must have big old fat sausage fingers, too.
Oh, and he's got all them cricket fingers, too.
Yeah, he keeps hitting the buttons wrong. I love this guy.
Yeah, he's got all those, like, gnarled, like, Chuck Bednarik-looking fingers, you know what I mean? Like, one goes this way, one goes that way. Like, he's got all the crazy. Yeah. Hey, so appreciate all the love for Star Wars in the chat. Monster Mash Ken is in there. Raider Ramon's in there. Ron the Materator's in there.
Okay, 3 guys love Star Wars. The rest of them said, there was even somebody
I don't believe that's true.
There
Mark.
was even somebody that says, I'd rather listen to Murf talk about math than Star Wars.
That's not nice.
Oh, wait a minute. That was me.
Oh! Well, if you want to do math, then we can talk about the years that, because typically Star Wars movies, like some of them, like will have like a 3-year.
Will you stifle yourself?
I'm just saying. Sometimes
You don't want to interrupt this guy.
Hey, Raider Nation, this is Max Crosby from the Oakland Raiders.
And goes down, and Max Crosby, who forced a fumble last week.
You're listening to Murf, Mosh, and Swag Jeff on Raiders Fan Radio. Thank you so much. Just win, baby.
Nice.
Appreciate you, Max. Appreciate your support of Raiders.
All right,
Fan
Murf,
Radio.
I got a question, bro.
Give me something, Mosh. What do you got?
So, I love how.
I love it when you do that.
Well, I can't help it. I'm just the name as my computer. Okay.
Yeah.
My computer's right here.
Your computer's right
there. And I don't use it that well. And it scrolls up, and I saw the name Mojo Raider. He was congratulating Capo on being in here late and blah blah blah.
Okay.
But I saw Mojo, and immediately San Diego street tacos popped into my head.
Oh,
right
yeah.
in my
You started
thought.
salivating.
I'm like anyway, I got a question.
Okay.
I might need a little Murfundementals.
Oh.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Can you handle me on the fly?
I got you.
All right.
Okay.
So I got the breakdown of the West Coast offense.
Yeah.
I get it. I've known that for years. I've loved it for years.
Yeah.
I loved it when that other team did it.
Yeah.
Because they did it so well.
Yeah, you got to appreciate greatness.
You got to appreciate greatness. But
we don't like them, but
we don't have to like them. We don't have to like them. But we're getting a lot of flack on the whole zone man coverage. I think we need to break that down a little bit. I think we need to have a little more fundamentals.
All right.
Make it simple, like we do with the West Coast offense. Let's talk about man versus, not man versus food.
No.
Man versus.
Food loses around here.
Yeah. Man versus zone defense. Hello, boys and girls. Thanks for joining me here today as your old Uncle Mosh takes us to class. Most of you have heard the phrases Hail Mary, shotgun, or onside kick. But have you ever wondered what the heck a Mike, Sam, or Will linebacker did? Do the phrases run and shoot, bull rush, and nickel dime packages make you want to go pooch punt the Wildcat? Well, you're in luck. My little nephew Murf has a new flea flicker of a segment called Murfundementals, where I ask him a question and he tries to teach this old dog some new tricks.
All right, class. Today we are going to be talking about man coverage versus zone coverage. And the reason that we've been prompted to discuss this is that there's been an awful lot of criticism from Raider Nation out there about why we have linebackers on wide receivers. And it showed up this last weekend when we played the Houston Texans and arguably one of the best wide receivers in the game, DeAndre Hopkins. Why would we have Tyre Whitehead cover DeAndre Hopkins? Everybody knows how good DeAndre Hopkins is. Everybody knows that Tyre Whitehead is a linebacker and not going to be expected to cover a guy of that immense talent at wide receiver. He doesn't have the speed or athleticism. Like, why would you put Tyre Whitehead on DeAndre Hopkins? Stop it, John Gruden. You're blowing it. Well, the answer is this. He's not putting Tyre Whitehead on DeAndre Hopkins. That's not what's going on. If he was, that would be man coverage. So first, before I jump into my Murfundamental, let's listen to Coach himself talk about man or zone coverage.
I think Hopkins had 5 catches with linebackers in coverage. I'm guessing that's something that you're going to want to avoid.
Well, he plays zone coverage. That's what happens. We don't ever play man-to-man coverage with a linebacker covering Hopkins. But we do play zone coverage like everybody else. And when that happens, sometimes these slot receivers, they catch passes. That's how these slot receivers make a living, really, working inside against linebackers and safeties underneath coverage.
All right, so working against linebackers and safeties and underneath coverage. So here's what we got, Raider Nation. So man is simple enough. And anybody listening to this show, you already know, but humor me for a second. So man coverage means I line up against you, I line up across from you, and I cover you. So I'm standing across from Mosh. He runs his route. I cover him. He's my sole responsibility. That's it. The end of story. Unless we're running a hybrid, which in case we might pick up a double coverage should they run into a cover two over the top or something to that effect. But for the most part, it's me versus you, man-to-man coverage, right? Then you have zone. So zone is when you break the field up into different chunks. And for those of you that are watching on the YouTube, those of you audio podcasts, you'll just have to trust me on this. But I'm holding up from John Madden Football, the most elementary way to learn about this sport, and I'm showing you an example of zone coverage. Now, in this zone coverage, we have 3 down linemen, we have 1 linebacker, and the rest are defensive backs. Well, what do you see that 1 linebacker doing? He's dropping to the deep middle third of the field, which means that that's his area of responsibility. So any wide receiver or tight end or anybody else that runs to that part of the field, that's going to be his responsibility. Now, that's out of what's called quarters, where you only have 3 down linemen. Here's one that's out of the 4-3, which is what the Raiders use. This is what Paul Gunther's base defense looks like. Well, here's a zone cover 2. Now, what do you see that middle linebacker doing? He's dropping to the middle third of the field and covering that area. So anybody that runs into that area, it could be DeAndre Hopkins, it could be Travis Kelce, it could be, I don't know, Melvin Gordon, it could be anybody that runs into that area. That's the guy that's responsible for that coverage. So you're not necessarily lining up for a particular mismatch. You're just setting guys up into a particular area of the field. Now, typically linebackers don't have the coverage capabilities, but they have the striking capabilities that's much greater than a defensive back, and typically you can knock a ball loose by impact. So it's not a flawed system necessarily. It's better when you have a super athletic linebacker in this case, but it's not necessarily flawed. It's only flawed when you have great players making great plays. And look, that's what you got with DeAndre Hopkins. And that's where the NFL offenses, and that's where these offensive coordinators get paid so much money, is because they want to exploit those mismatches, and they do a great job. But look, you can't run a bunch of DBs all the time. You can't have your safety out there always covering the middle of the field, because then what happens? Then the other team just starts running the football, and then they're just going to gouge you for 10 yards at a time. So anyways, so that there's a difference. There's a distinct difference between it. And look, sometimes you get beat. Sometimes you run out of talent. Sometimes you run up against a great quarterback and a great receiver, and they're going to beat what your particular coverage is. The Raiders are not doing anything. They're not neglecting. Okay, this is not from lack of research or preparation. This is just they put out the best defense they are capable of fielding, and they got beat. So don't worry about Tyre Whitehead or back even when it was Vontaze Burfict covering the deeper parts of the field against wide receivers. They're just being responsible for any particular zone that is assigned to them, and that's it. And now I'm done. I can take a breath. Mosh, what do you got?
Wow. What'd you say?
I said it's time for the Sea of Fans mailbag.
Oh, you're killing me.
There he is, fading, looking. He's under the gun. He's tied, he's thrown. It is.
First off, I love Crossbones says, I would say nickel is our go-to. And that's where
He's got a point.
He's got a point. That's where you replace one of those linebackers. So 4-3 being 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers. Nickel being you replace one of those linebackers with a safety. I agree, or LaMarcus Joyner a lot of times for the Raiders. I agree, and it's really, frankly, becoming a kind of a go-to for the league. It's not even just the Raiders, because it's such a pass-heavy league, and because the rules lean in favor of the passing games and the offenses. And before I get on another rant, Uncle Mosh, stop me, and let's read an email from Paul.
All right, and and I'm just gonna say to Paul right off the top of the show, Paul, I'm back, buddy. I got you.
You got it. Holding down the fort on the emails, Mosh.
Evening, fellas. Hope you're all well. Firstly, this week, I'd like to thank Vinny for reading out last week's email. Great job, my little buddy.
Hey.
The last couple of weeks have been frustrating. We could have been closer in Green Bay, and Sunday, we let the W slip in Houston. To have the lead for so long and lose it close to the end was a bit of a bitter pill to swallow. Deshaun Watson was excellent in the second half. The control of the game clock and limiting us to 3 possessions was impressive. Frustrating as hell, but impressive nonetheless. I do wish we'd gone for it on the 4th down late on. We hadn't been able to stop them during the second half, and even with 4 minutes left on the clock, it just felt like that was going to be our last drive. Standout performances for me were Mad Max Crosby, who continues to shine, and Benson Mayoa, who quietly goes about his business. I was really pleased for Hunter Renfrow as well. Hopefully the first TD of many. My heart skipped a beat when Rodney Hudson went off injured. We need to cross our fingers and everything else that he's back ASAP. It'll feel good for the guys to be back on familiar territory after such a long time away, except for the 8 or 9 players on the roster that have never played in Oakland.
Oh.
Of course, and we're going to talk. Hey, do you have those really quick?
I got it. Let's jump in on that.
that.
Okay. So after the moves this week, this is really fun here. So after the moves this week, this is how long the Raiders have been on the road. After the moves this week, the Raiders have 10 now players that have yet to play a regular season home game in the Coliseum. So this doesn't count the London game. And those players are Richie Incognito, Mike Glennon, Deshaun Kaiser, Trevor Davis, Zay Jones, Nevin Lawson, Brandon Marshall, Will Compton, Eric Magnuson, and Terrell McLean.
Wow.
Unreal.
Wow.
Unreal. Great shout out there, Paul.
And so let me finish Paul really quick. How crazy has this season been? And we're only just coming up to halfway. The Raiders will now become the first team in NFL history. I had a Jeff moment just now.
Wow, what happened?
In NFL history to have to acclimatize for a home game. We've been away that long. That also is the first time we've ever used the word acclimatize.
Acclimatize or acclimatize?
Or acclimatize.
Is it either one?
I would say acclimatize.
You would say acclimatize.
Yeah. But it's a tomato kind of thing.
Yeah. Potato.
Potato. Yeah. Nobody says potato.
No one says potato.
No. Why do they even say that?
Let's call the whole thing off.
I'm still feeling positive about the second half of the season. There are some really winnable games coming up, starting Sunday. So let's get the winning feeling back and see where it takes us. Have a safe trip to the game, everybody. I'm jealous to the core, and love and best wishes to everyone at the Bolitnikoff Foundation. It's a huge honor and a proud moment for all of RFR. Absolutely.
Yes.
Enjoy it, guys. Love you, Raider Nation. His Lordship, Paul Egerton from Shropshire, Mississippi, Paulie Award winner 2019, Sizzler scorekeeper, proud made man, one-time winner of the Raiders Fan Sizzler Award.
Nice job, Paul. Nice job, Uncle Mosh. Good stuff there, guys. Appreciate you. And, man, yeah, we couldn't, look, we're not too much into, self-congratulation here, and that's not what this is by any means. We're proud of that check behind
Absolutely.
Uncle Mosh there, and we're proud of it on your behalf, and it really, your all's effort to help us raise those funds, man, is just amazing. And so, we're just thankful to be the ones that are, going to be representing you all and handing them that check. And I made sure that when we spoke to Angela Bolitnikoff and anybody associated with it, that they know that that's from, and when we present it live, I'm going to say it then too. Yeah. This is on behalf of our community, everybody that's in the chat room. And
our worldwide community.
Yeah, literally.
Because we have people that we have shipped shirts, and people have gone online and ordered things from outside the States. I mean,
yeah. In fact, and I'm glad you brought that up, because there was one of our international shipment of shirts went out late. So I know that a lot of you are still waiting probably on your stuff. And it takes a little while to get there anyways, but they're coming. So you'll get them very, very soon. And look, our shipping department around here sucks, okay? Look, the shipping department at Raiders Fan Radio and Murf.
He does the best he can.
I do the best I can. It's me. And so I frankly got overwhelmed at the end, because when we said, look, this is last call on shirts, holy crap. You all came to play. We had a bunch of freaking orders. And so anyways, it took me a while to get all that stuff together and sent out. And so I apologize for the tardiness of it. But if you've ordered one, I promise you're going to get your shirt if you haven't already. All right. So Mosh, you can contact the show and participate in the Sea of Fans mailbag one of two ways. You can email the show at RaidersFanRadio.com, or you can call us, 909-345-3346. That's 909-345-3346. I had a lot of coffee tonight. And you can leave us a message, and if we get your message played 3 times on the show, then you become what we call a made man or a made woman. And so the leader of that crew, we call him Aaron the Q-Dog Raider. We always kick off this segment with his call. And so let's talk to our capo or hear from our capo and see what's going on.
Greetings, it's your capo Aaron the Q-Dog Raider coming to you from the great state of Texas. Don Murf, Consigliere Mosh, Underboss Sonny, Lil Murf, Swag Jeff, our Sergeant at Arms, Big Raider Trucker, Mojo Raider, Raider Ramon, Nation. You know, as frustrating as the losses for the nation may be, it's time for some much-needed perspective. Sometimes it's therapy for myself. But let's think about this for a second. The latest ESPN power rankings for Week 9 just came out, and the Raiders sit at 3-4 and are ranked at a respectable number 19. Now, all 4 losses, as we sit at 3-4, came to highly ranked teams. The Packers at number 4, Chiefs at number 5, Vikings at number 8, and that last loss, yes, we should have won that game, the Texans at number 9. Now, next week we host the number 16 Lions. The only bad loss happened to be to the Vikings, and that was the first of our month-long road trip. So we are better. Think about that for a second. We've been competitive in every game but one. Now, imagine if we had gotten a fair whistle on the road along the way. I digress. You know, the Raiders have re-signed Brandon Marshall. That's good, I guess. We need linebacker depth, and he'll provide that. You know, the Raiders are also signing Will Compton for linebacker depth as well. And they're signing offensive line center Eric Magnuson off the Buffalo's practice squad. You know, Marshall's lone episode on Hard Knocks, knock on wood if you're with me, featured his release. That was a bad sign. You know, the 30-year-old defender who's battled knee injuries and other things in his career might still have a little something left in the tank. And speaking of something left in the tank, you know, if things don't pan out, Richie, I'll pop the trunk at my pop's funeral incognito, might actually learn a new position and play center. That's rumored to be out there. Honestly, the hit list this week, Eric Harris, he's going to stay on it. And a first-time sack last game will keep Arden Key
a reprieve
off of the hit list. He's on the watch. Respect goes out to Sergeant at Arms, Big Raider Trucker, B-Dog and Apache Modo Raider. Salute, Watts Raider, Sugar Shane, Raider Homer, Splatterhead, Potts Fitz, His Lordship Paul. That'll do it. But I got to give honorable mentions to Eye Patch, Rev Raider, Kevin and the Raider Nerd, Running Bear, Ron from Alliance, everybody. It goes down this weekend. RFR Tailgate, Lot D, baby.
Yeah.
Be out to be talked about. Now, let me play my outro. Real. Little voice, do what you do.
Came in under the wire there, Mosh.
Man, he was at like 253 or something.
Yeah, something like that. Absolutely. And Google knows better. Google's
not stupid.
Google's not going anywhere close to Aaron the Q-Dog Raider, but we will, and you can too, this Sunday at the Raiders versus Lions game at the D-Lot tailgate. Going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to see Aaron.
You know what?
Yes. I mean, no. You tell me.
Murph's Fan Cave has 1,690 something subscribers. We need less than 10 subscribers
to get to
hit
1,700.
Do you remember when we had
six?
When you guys were so excited when you and Sonny first started, and we said, well, when you and I started the YouTube, and we said we had tens of subscribers.
Yeah,
we're almost at 2,000.
That's really cool.
That's nuts.
That's nuts.
Man.
So if you don't subscribe to us, hook us up, man.
And there's 60 of them in the chat right now. There's 60 people watching this, and so many of them in their chat room. That's crazy cool. You guys are the best.
You guys are the best. Shout them out, Mosh, because we do love our chat.
Man, Super Deuce, Coach Davis and Haley. I sounded real country right there.
Haley.
Coach Davis and Haley. Freddie Chavez, Ron, Crossbones, Chucktown Raider, Q-Dog, Chevy Raider, Raiders 75-28, Todd Clemens, Freddie Chavez, man, Pirate 1975, Franklin 83. There's so many of them. The Big Easy.
Monster Mash Ken. Supporting my Star Wars initiative around here.
Geez.
So let's talk a little bit about it, Mosh. So what do you think? You think we're going to get like the fourth?
And now for something completely different.
Next up, Riverside Raider Steve, representing Steve's.
All right, Murf, Uncle Mosh, Riverside Raider Steve here. Just calling, checking in. Want to say, give big shout-outs to the Q-Dog, the Capos. Want to give a big shout-out to Rico. Want to give a big shout-out to the coach. I don't remember his first name. Coach and Haley. I see y'all out there.
There you go, Coach Davis.
Probably in the chat or so. But, yeah, I just wanted to touch on with some other real Raider oil machines, like I like to consider myself. I think the Raiders are going to be one of those teams that come week 15, 14, 15, 16. Nobody's going to want to play. I think we're built for playoff football. Obviously our defense is not playing like it, but hey, I think we're right there. I think we're on the cusp. I think we can do it. Yeah, I'll see you, Google boys. 2 minutes, I got you. Yeah, so, that's my opinion. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Maybe you could touch on that. Let me know how y'all feel. And, like I said, shout out to all the boys in the chat. Shout out to the Rev, Rico, Haley, and the coach. You know what I'm saying? Uncle Mosh, I know you've been missed a couple weeks. Get back soon, baby. Get back safe. You already know. We'll see y'all later on. Riverside Raider Steve out.
Awesome, man. Appreciate the love there, Riverside Raider Steve. And, Mosh, Steve Nation might be challenging Jeff Nation here.
Oh, come on with it.
Oh, the Steves are rising up.
Yeah.
The Steves are rising
We
up.
need to do it like a check and see how many Steves are made men versus how many Jeffs are made
there's
men.
more Jeffs.
Yeah.
There's more Jeffs.
Yeah, but that could end.
There's more Jeffs. You know what? This is how bad. This is what age does to you. He asked us a specific question, and I forgot what it was.
I don't remember.
He wanted us to let's hit this again.
14, 15, 16, nobody's going to want to play. I think we're built for the
playoffs. That's what it was. Okay, so he asked Mosh if we're built for the play. Well, listen, I can tell you this: we're certainly much improved. We've certainly much improved in our running game. With the way Josh Jacobs is playing, and that offensive line they're just rocking it. But you got to have a good defense. You got to have a good. Now there are some anomalies. Peyton won in 2006. Indianapolis's defense wasn't nearly as good as they were offensively. 2010, the Saints win, right? Who did they beat? They beat Peyton.
I got a theory on that, though.
All right, but what I'm getting at is that there are, even still nowadays, rarely does the overpowered offensive team beat a team that can run the football and play defense. And it's funny, like, as much as this league is geared towards the passing game, it's still not a sure thing week in, week out in terms of the postseason that you can win just because you got a high-powered offense. What do you think?
So
but the Raiders are heading that way. Sorry, that's I'm
yeah. No, the Raiders are heading that way, and the Raiders go as Cargos.
Yeah,
and I'll say this. Let me just like play this out with you.
Yeah. Walk through it.
I think that teams that go against the best every day for 5 or 6 days in a row, and their defense, like I know we don't even have to talk about. We don't talk about New England, but we can talk about. I refuse to talk about the Queefs, but let's look at teams with high-powered quarterbacks who the defenses that they have, and they're going against these quarterbacks day in and day out. They've got to pick up something.
Iron sharpens iron, doesn't it?
Iron sharpens iron. So if you've got, it's like I can't remember the name of that movie. It was a baseball movie, and it was about a high school baseball coach based on a true story, and he would throw batting practice.
Oh, the one with Dennis Quaid.
Yes. And he would
the rookie,
and he was throwing batting practice to his kids every day, and he's throwing heat, man. He's throwing 90-mile-an-hour fastballs to these guys day in and day out, and they're jacking these things because they're learning from the best. So when you've got defenses that day in and day out go against Tom Brady, there's something to be said there.
That's a good point.
And you look at the teams that we've lost. I mean. Come on, guys. We've gone up against some of the best quarterbacks on that day.
Well,
you with me?
Well, Deshaun Watson
had an amazing day.
Yes, Patrick Mahomes.
Kirk
Cousins is no
day.
slouch. I know. Look, he's been inconsistent at times.
But
he's Aaron freaking Rodgers, for crying out loud, the greatest.
It's crazy.
I'm with you.
It's crazy. So
I'm with you. But I think we're headed, in taking your point, Mosh, and building on what his question was. I think the Raiders are certainly going in the right direction. Look, are we there yet? No, and we're far from it. Also, championship teams are built on depth. That's the thing, is that superstars are great. Well, ask the Cleveland Browns how great it is to have all those superstars they have. Like, you're sure it's flashy and it's cool to have Baker and OBJ and Jarvis Landry and all that, but you win on depth. That's why the freaking stupid Patriots win every year, or most of them, because they're deep as heck. You can cite system and coach and all these, but they have so much depth, and that's what the Raiders are finally starting to build. And you're right, Mosh, is that when you have those teams that become conditioned to playing against exceptional athletes, you start to build on one another, and that iron sharpens that iron, and they get better and better. That's a great point, and great call from Riverside Steve. Come back full circle, Steve. Keep them coming. I believe that's the first phone call we've had from you, and appreciate you reaching out to us here at Raiders Fan Radio. All right, I'm telling y'all, the Steves are rising up around here. And next up, we're going to hear from Houston Raider Steve.
Murf, Mosh, Swag Jeff, Houston Raider Steve. Man, that was a tough loss yesterday. Raider Nation was out in full force. My sister even commented about it. Saw Captain Jack and all the great Raider fans. We represented well in Houston. We were loud the whole game. Tough loss. That was Deshaun Watson's seventh come from behind win. That was the scary part, because he was a throwback quarterback like Cam Newton, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Gilliam for the Steelers back in the day, and Michael Vick and Randall Cunningham. Just when you thought you had him wrapped up, he would make the complete pass. He just gave his receivers enough time to get underneath behind their defensive backs, and if he didn't do that, he beat you with his feet. So it was really hard to stop him. He's a great quarterback, obviously. It's a great game.
That's what I was just saying.
Josh Jacobs. Williams, first game back, he had a great game. Waller was getting open. The thing is, obviously, we all know that Derek Carr, he's not as mobile. He's more of a pocket passer, but he does take off. But very tough loss. Just want to tell you a historical fact. Back when the Raiders played here against Houston, the Oilers, it was Jack Tatum. It was a goal line stand that they had.
Yes.
Tatum hit Earl Campbell straight on.
So good.
And he when he did that, Earl Campbell went sideways and then he fell into the end zone. He said that was the hardest hit he'd ever taken in his life. As you know, Tatum ended up eventually being on the Oilers for 1 year. And he joined Dave Casper, one of my all-time favorites, with, of course, Kenny the Snake, one of my all-time favorites. Really tough loss. Went down. I was pretty confident we were going to win. John McClain, the writer here in Houston, he's hated Al Davis for years.
We hate
Don't
him.
get me started on McClain.
He picked him by 7 points. And we wanted to win it for Willie. We wanted to win it for Cliff. We're going to dust ourselves off and live to fight another day. The Raiders are going to be back. They'll always be our team. Win, lose, or tie, Raider till I die. God bless and go Raiders.
All right, there's the hit there, man. There's Tatum hitting freaking Earl Campbell. That's insane, man. So he mentioned John McClain there. There's no fans of John McClain in this room. I've talked to John McClain a handful of times, because being that they were the former the former Houston Oilers became the Tennessee Titans, and being that we live outside of Middle Tennessee, I used to call into the sports talk show whenever McClain was on, and every time I would bring up the Raiders, he would absolutely shout us down and would never give a fair answer, and used to drive me nuts, Steve. I'm with you on McClain, and I'll tell you why. This is one of my favorite stories to tell about the Raiders. So back in the 70s, Mosh knows this stuff, but the Houston Oilers and the Pittsburgh Steelers played each other in the playoffs. And in the first round of the playoffs, the Steelers beat the Oilers. In the following year, they went another level, and I think they played in the AFC Championship game, and or at least the divisional game. And the Steelers then beat the Oilers again. So then at a rally, in a Love Ya Blue Houston Oilers rally, Bum Phillips, the then coach of the Houston Oilers, famously said, "The first year we knocked on the door, the next year we're going to kick it in." So he was basically saying, like, look, like we're coming in this time.
Right.
So my Uncle Murph, my namesake, famously said, because the next year the Houston Oilers didn't play the Pittsburgh Steelers, they played the Raiders.
Right.
And Murph famously said, well, I guess they kicked in the wrong effing door. That's why John McClain hates us.
Yep.
All those old school Houston guys, and Steve, you can attest to this, they all hate the Raiders because we were the ones that took them out. It wasn't the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I
it was
love
the
it.
freaking Raiders.
You know, there's a. I wish we could play it, but because of copyright laws and stuff like that, and they do it on their local radio show, and you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I do.
There's a video. There's a recording of John McClain. This is what a tool this guy is. Falling asleep during an interview.
The worst.
So he's like on, he's got that real voice, and he's like, I think the Houston.
Oh my God!
And they're like, "Wake up, John!"
Yeah,
He's like, and so then on it's like, shut up, dude. What is wrong with you? I can't stand that guy.
He's the worst.
Can't
He's such a
stand that
homer.
guy.
Such a homer. So we're with you, Steve. And, no love for John McClain around here. All right, Mosh, a guy we don't hear from often. We hear from him every week in the chat room because he's the moderator, we call him, the moderator of our chat, the made man, an early made man. That is Ron. And so let's hear from our buddy Ron in Alliance.
Hey, what's up, guys? Ron calling in. First off, I'd like to just say the team is in a really nice position, I think. A lot of people upset about the losses. We're losing to the class of the NFL. You can't complain about that. My hope for this season was 6 wins and to show progress on the football field. And I think even with the defense that we have right now, we've shown some positive progress. So I think with another solid draft and good free agency, we're in a nice spot. And then the second part of my call I wanted to touch on, this is episode 147. 100 episodes ago, Johnny from San Diego became the very first made man.
Oh!
Didn't have music on that episode. Then we later got the copyright music, and now we've got Uncle Mosh bringing us into the family now. But I'd like to just shout out all the made men out there. 100 episodes ago, Johnny from San Diego started this thing off. Have a good day, everybody. Bye.
Oh, that's awesome, Ron.
So Ron did a double bubble there.
Yeah, he did.
Ron went in for it on the whole Houstonian thing.
Yeah.
And he kind of did some some show flashbacky number kind of thing.
Yeah.
So Houstonian Steve and Swaggy J, Ron might be trolling for a new job.
Yeah, you guys are on notice. So that was really cool. So that, talk about a blast from the past. So Johnny in San Diego was one of the first huge supporters of Raiders Fan Radio. And we used to hear from him all the time. Like, that wasn't even just like his third call. Like, Johnny used to call us every single week. And he just went away. And we hadn't heard from him in a long, long time. Mosh, this is episode number 147. I went back and did some research. The last time we heard from Johnny in San Diego was episode number 63.
Wow.
I know, long, long time ago. So for those of you in San Diego, anybody that knows Johnny, tell him to call us, man. We miss having him.
But Murph.
Yeah.
Look who on the rundown sheet.
I know. I got Johnny in San Diego, but this is not current Johnny in San Diego.
Oh, this is old school Johnny in San Diego?
This is the last time we heard from him. But I'm going to play it again because, look, he's the first made man. Like, he planted the flag.
Somebody's got to reach out to Johnny.
We
don't let our folks just fall off the earth like that.
No way, man. You're part of the crew, man. You're the first one. So anybody knows Johnny in San Diego, tell him to hit us up. And in the meantime, let's go back to the last time we heard from Johnny in San Diego.
We're not posing for football cards offense. Let's play with some speed. Guys, Johnny in San Diego, how awesome was the press conference yesterday? Sonny had the post of the day. What was it? Something about Mark Davis looking at Gruden longingly, but he phrased it a little bit better. But anyway, fellas, just checking in. About to dive into the Fannies podcast and listen to that. But just want to get my reaction regarding yesterday, which was amazing. Man, I thought it never happened. The Gruden years were some of my best years in fandom. Like a lot of us, I can remember walking down streets of San Diego with my Woodson jersey, with my chest out, and doing the Gruden machinations, doing my face, my Chucky face. So I'm pretty hyped, man. And this is the first time I think that we have a legit coach and it can out-scheme the other coach. Because, nobody except for Musgrave maybe, nobody on Del Rio staff could out-scheme anybody. And we haven't had that. So I'm happy we at least have somebody that can do the X's and O's and totally out-scheme somebody and put Derek Carr in a position to succeed, man. Legit. The other thing, just wanted to say to Mike Florio, you rat-faced, hairy dwarf. I don't know if you guys saw the tweet, but this guy's pumping out, and I know it was PFT, but I know it was Mike Florio to put out that the Raiders violated the Rooney Rule. This is the same organization that hired Emmy Trask, Hugh Jackson, Art Shell, Tom Flores. So, F that guy. Just checking in, fellas. Can't wait for the off season. Go Raiders. Peace.
All right, good stuff there from Johnny
That's
San Diego.
even pre-Google Voice.
Oh, yeah, because that was probably a 9-minute voicemail.
Yeah.
Good stuff there from Johnny in San Diego. Yeah, and appreciate.
I love the rat face hairy
dwarf.
dwarf.
I know. The perfect description of freaking Mike Florio. All right, man, let's get back and live in the now. So appreciate Johnny, and hopefully we'll hear from you. So Mosh, Beto.
Yeah,
man,
I love him.
I've taken a run at Beto a few times now. I have, and I do it out of love, man. I got a lot of love for our callers and a lot of our show supporters, and Beto is fantastic. His calls are always great, and I took a run at him for a few things. So, first off, one of my favorite things that he does is that he goes, the city.
Yeah.
He's in Los Angeles, but he just says, the city. And then he had the smoke alarm going off, and so I kind of picked on him about that, and so he started calling himself 9-Volt Beto. And then now I gave him a hard time about being fired up. About this last call.
Yeah.
He was kind of demure, right? He was kind of chill. Right. And so I gave him a hard time about that. And so just know this, Beto, it's all love, man. We appreciate you calling in, and he takes a little bit of a shot back at me, and it's great. So let's hear from our buddy, Beto 9-Volt.
So what's up, Murf? Laughing at all my calls, calling me 9-Volt, making fun of my fire alarm system, and now you're saying I don't sound fired up? What about now, Murf, huh? Anyway, it's all good. 9-Volt here, the city. Just watched the game. Well, not just watched it. It was yesterday. But anyway, thoughts on the game. This was a close game. It really did come down to, who made the first mistake. And it was clearly the Raiders when it came to Tyrell Williams dropping that pass. Good things I saw in the game. Max Crosby, I'm liking that pick. Artie Key finally showed up. He got a sack, so he's got 2 sacks in like 25 games or whatever. The defense, I noticed the defense gets gashed a lot in the second half. It's, the adjustment for the defense is not good. I don't know if that's Paul Gunther. Might be Paul Gunther. Maybe we let go of Paul Gunther after this season. But anyway, offense to me, I think is looking good. It's way better than last year before. Last year we couldn't, Raiders couldn't score over 14 points or something like that. Now they're scoring 24 and more each game. I'm impressed. But honestly, it just came down to who made the first mistake. And it was good. The O-line is looking great. The supposedly good Texans defense that has a lot of sacks and pressures didn't really do anything to Derek Carr yesterday. So, again, we have a good offense. Jacobs is the truth. Derek Carr is playing good enough football to win his games, not fumbling at the goal line this game, but you get to see. The thing is I ask is how consistent can Derek Carr and the offense be? Same with the defense. Anyway, quick question for all you guys at Raiders Fan Radio. So Uncle Mosh, Swaggy Jeff, Murf, collectively, what are your guys' Mount Rushmore? All right. Let me know where your guys' Mount Rushmore is, and as always, go Raiders.
All right. Appreciate you, 9-volt Beto, man, representing from, the city. Mosh, so he asked the question, what's our Mount Rushmore? This is mine.
He said collectively.
Oh, collectively?
Collectively.
All right,
We can't agree on that.
Well, Al Davis. That's spotted.
It might be the only one that we could agree on.
Kenny? You put Stabler on there.
I would probably put Stabler, but we're gonna go in another different direction.
Why don't we do this then? All right, if we both obviously it's both of us think Al. Both of us go Stabler. You pick one, I'll pick one. To round it out. To round out the 4. Why don't we do that? That's fair. No?
Yeah. Oh, see, I don't know that I could just nail just one. I've never answered this question because I got so many. You know,
It's a freaking stupid hard question. That's why it's so fun.
And I go for the big guys. I'm going to go in.
You're wearing number 60.
I'm going to go in the trenches. I've got so many big guys, and Alzado isn't one of them because I lost money on Alzado when he was with the Broncos.
Yeah.
The one and only time I bet on those fools in the Super Bowl when I was stationed in Denver. Man. So, and then I look at my era, Atkinson, Tatum, but I would go back to the big guys, and I'm having a hard time. Do I go Otto or do I go Sistrunk?
Ooh.
I mean
that's picking your kid.
I got so excited. I was hanging my head. That's why I'm saying.
Just hit no thanks or whatever on there.
Yeah. Next.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
no, not next. No, that'll take you to a sign up thing. Mosh is hitting it somewhere.
Sorry.
There you go.
So I gotta go with.
You gotta go
the University of Mars. He's my all-time favorite player.
Yes, absolutely.
But then I'm leaving out.
But that's why it's hard because you got to leave somebody out.
I hate it. The chat's going crazy. Howie, Sistrunk, Millen, Twos, Foo. There's so many.
There's so many. So I would, it's hard. Okay, so now I'm anchoring this thing. So we got Sistrunk, we got Stabler, we got Al. I think, only in fairness, because Willie Brown, old man Willie, we talked excessively about Willie Brown last week and gave him all of the respect as he deserves. But I think with the amount of 70s Raiders we now have represented, I think I could go one of two different ways. Either one, I want to go Madden, but I'm not gonna. Although we probably should. But Madden's career was shorter than others. I might have to go Tim Brown.
I
might have to go Tim Brown.
I would go Gene Upshaw before I'd go Brown.
Oh,
Yeah,
you would. And
I would. See what I'm saying?
But we can't do this. But I think I got a hold to going to a, because Timmy went through L.A. and Oakland. I think I got to go with Timmy Brown.
Moving right along.
It's so stupid. It's such a stupid and
talk about paybacks.
Howie Long's off of there. I know,
Shell, Upshaw, Blanda, dude.
Yeah, Shell and Upshaw first out of that. Upshaw, Otto, Biletnikoff. We hadn't even talked about Super Bowl MVPs yet.
Jeez.
It's just
Marcus.
Oh, well, but there's the KC component you can subtract from him on. Yeah. I got it. It's so. Look, if I got to pick one, we've already got Al. We've already got Stabler. I got Otis. You got Sistrunk, so we got the trenches. I'm going Timmy Brown, man. I'm going Timmy Brown. I'm going Timmy Brown. Mr. Raider. He's literally, his nickname is Mr. Raider.
Cliff Branch. We have a connection to Jim Plunkett. Our uncle.
We do have a connection.
Our uncle was at James Lick High School in San Jose, was Jim Plunkett's center.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
And
neither you or Sonny remembered that.
No, we didn't remember that. No, we didn't remember that when we met him. And all I was starstruck. Completely dumbfounded when we met Jim Plunkett. Anyways. All right,
let's move on.
Good job, Beto.
Hey, where are we going?
Let's go.
Eye patch.
Hey, Mosh, Murf, Swag Jeff, Q. What's up, Raider Nation? iPatch calling here from sunny Florida. Guys say sunny, sun's still shining even though we had another loss. Tough one to take. But, you know what? For all these people who want to fire Gruden, trash Carr, I don't know what you people are thinking, man. We weren't a 13-3, 12-14. We just I see a lot of growth from these young kids this season. We're growing as a team. Nobody likes to lose. We're getting a lot of lumps. But, it's just growing pains, man. These kids are going to come together. We get a good draft next year. We'll start to mold things in the right direction. I'm tired of listening to these people who just want to bash us. As soon as we lose, everybody wants to jump ship. If you want to jump ship, give me your address. I'll come down and open the door for you. Everybody's got an opinion. They're like trolls. Everybody has one. But you know what? This team needs to stick together. The fans need to stick together. Everybody's like attacking each other. It's a long season. Let's hope for a little playoff run here. We got a bunch of home games coming up. We can make some noise, maybe get in a wild card picture. If we get in a wild card game, we're probably not going to win it, and then everybody's going to be hating on us again. So just stick together, team. Let's look for a better second half here. We had a long road trip. And we came out, we could have came out 4-3, but we're 3-4. We're not that far back. So, look on the bright side of things, people. Let's go Raiders.
All right. Good job, iPatch. Appreciate you calling in. And, Mosh, we had a pretty astute comment pop up there in the chat.
One of the best. So, Tampa Raider, he's been pretty vocal all night tonight in the chat. He says, Raider Nation, we dwell on a different mountain. Our mountain holds more than 4.
Yes, it does.
Nice.
Because someone else also brought up Charles Woodson.
How did we forget Woodson? Because we were throwing so many names out there.
There's so many.
There's so many.
We need like a 25 guy Mount Rushmore. And a girl, we could put Amy Trask on it.
And then we would complain about that.
And then we would complain about that because, I don't know. Well, Marcel Reese would end up on mine. But anyways, no matter what. But anyways, yeah, it's crazy. But that was a great comment. I appreciate Tampa Raider and appreciate iPatch calling us from down there in Florida. All right, let's move over to the other coast. It's not a coast, it's a desert. But let's hear from our buddy Ruben in Vegas.
Hey, what's up, guys? Ruben in Vegas. Really quick. Can't believe we lost to a one-eye quarterback. Great player.
Was iPatch
we
playing?
Lost to a one-eye quarterback. Other than that, I know you guys going out there to the game, to Oaktown, against the Lions. Hope you guys have fun. Presented the check for the Biletnikoff Foundation. Hope you guys have a good time. I, myself, will be out there for the Raiders-Bengal game. Saw Andy Dalton got benched, so hopefully we could win, but I don't know, man. We're thin at linebacker. Got a couple signings today, so Arthur coming back. Whatnot. But anyways, guys, have a good one. Have fun at the game. Take plenty of pictures, post them, and I'll be out there myself, like I said. Raiders, Bengals. One last time in Oakland, guys. Gonna miss it. Anyways, have a good one, guys. Win, lose, or tie. Raiders till I die.
All right, appreciate you, Ruben in Vegas. Yeah, we're going to take lots and lots of pictures. Swag Jeff will be with us, and as our acting social media director, he will be all over our Instagram. You can follow us there if you're on Instagram, at Raiders Fan Radio. You can find us on Facebook, at Raiders Fan Radio Podcast. You can find us on Twitter, at Raiders Fan Radio, and all of those social media outlets. And especially, I've noticed that Swaggo really likes the Instagram, and he really likes the Facebook. I typically post most of the stuff on Twitter, but even
so, how do they follow him on the Instagram?
Just search at Raiders Fan Radio.
Okay.
That's it. Just the at symbol and then Raiders Fan Radio. You'll find us there on Instagram. And Swag posts there a lot. And so definitely check us out there. There's going to be a ton of stuff. And then also our Facebook as well. That's the one that we mentioned last week that has now over 5,000 likes. So thank you to those of you that pay attention to us on Facebook. It's at Raiders Fan Radio Podcast. But you can just just Google Raiders Fan Radio, and we're all over the darn place. So thank you to those of you. And definitely keep up with us there. And we will have tons of stuff also on the YouTube. We're going to keep them like the videos of, we're going to do videos of us going to the game and all that good stuff. So definitely check us out live from the tailgate and whatnot. All right, Mosh, we got one more before we get out of here for the night.
We got something special coming up.
Oh, yeah. We sure do. So we're not out of here yet.
Don't bail yet.
Don't bail yet.
Somebody call Ken and say, you should have let the house get dirty, Ken. Because he's like, I got to go clean the house. The wife's on her way.
No, because Monster Mash Ken, you're going to really like this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hello.
so stay tuned. But first, we're going to hear from our buddy, Raider Ramon.
What's good, Murf? Mosh, Swagtastic, Vinny, Capo,
Hey, Vinny.
Mojo, Big Raider Trucker, Shane, Made Men, Nation, respect to the family. I don't got a hot take. Ain't no pregame, no after game. Just saying what's up. Well, that Texan game wasn't pretty. Mad Max kicked Deshaun Watson in the face, and he still scored. What can you do about that? Anyway, I didn't get the call after Big Willie, triple OG Brown pass. Much love and respect to the iconic player. That pick off Tarkenton was epic. Wish R24 was in there putting in that work too. All I got left for this week, is the Lions. Love to see that dub this weekend. I finally get to meet some of you as well. Been looking forward to it. We'll be all scattered about the O, but you can find me in the black hole, front row, rocking that Marsh on with that 2-4.
There we go.
We've been about that action. Bay Area, Oakland, Raider Nation, stand up. We finally home. I got that sizzle. Keep it loyal to the soil. What happens in Vegas started in the O. Raider Nation all day. Raider Ramon out.
Nice job, Raider Ramon.
Good job. I love the loyal to the soil.
Oh, that's such a good one, man. Great job there, Raider Ramon. Appreciate you. Raider Ramon, made man, gonna be part of our tailgate there in the D-lot.
Yeah, man. It's what a great night for calls.
Oh, awesome.
What a great night for a show. And we got out under 2 hours, man. So before we go, I got to give
Sizzler.
Sizzler.
Sizzler. Sizzler.
Sizzler. Sizzler. So Riverside Raiders started it off representing the Steves. Shout out to the crew. He even dodged Google Voice.
Yeah, he did.
He was down to the second. Historian Steve, he recapped the game. But Steve, Historian Steve-O, Dead Sea Scroll Steve, please don't ever bring up John McClain again. Ron, kudos for our team. Shout outs to the Made Men. Johnny in San Diego, we did that flashback call. That was great. Beto, 9-volt Beto, defends himself, puts Murf in his place, and then followed it up with a great game recap. Eye patch in sunny Florida. He's got the wrenches ready for all you ship jumpers. Ruben in Vegas. He's going to the Raiders versus the Bengals. So he's going to be there. You guys hook up with Ruben in Vegas when he's there in Oakland at the Bengals game. And Ramon, I love the phrase swagtastic. And he had a great call, and he had a shout-out to my little great-nephew, Vinny.
Yay.
So, hey, anybody that shouts out the family the way you did.
Sizzler.
Right on.
Sizzler. Sizzler. Sizzler.
Sizzler.
Sizzler.
You know,
awesome.
Ramon, we're all loyal to the soil, especially when it comes to the family, bro. I appreciate that. And we are
Metallica, and we are here for your Oakland Raiders!
You know why we out here, and we ain't playing around today.
From The Walking Dead to errant Jedi Knights, Raiders fans are a rogues gallery.
So the reason that I brought up Monster Mash Ken, and this is Monster Mash Ken's custom action figure, Little Murf.
Still waiting on mine.
Oh yeah, huh? Yeah,
It's
we
only been a
need
year.
to do a Mosh bobblehead or something, maybe.
He'll probably send me a empty Krispy Kreme box. You're going to start getting garbage from all the donut houses across the world.
We already get enough stuff here. Don't start sending me empty donut boxes, please. Hey, before we get out of here, so it is Halloween, and last year, as I mentioned, we did a big Halloween show where Uncle Mosh and I dressed up. We did the lights and all that stuff. And we did a song. We made a parody song. Uncle Mosh wrote it. I performed it and had the boys.
Hey, we did it together. It's Lennon and McCartney here.
Yeah, that's right. There we go. And so we did, the kids did background vocals on it, and it was a lot of fun. But Mosh, you killed it, man. It's so much fun, and we had such a fun time putting this thing together. So to celebrate Halloween, and those of you out there, Raider Nation, and you know, be safe and have a good time and all that stuff. But anyways, enjoy your Halloween, enjoy dressing up, and so to celebrate that, let's listen to the Uncle Mosh.
Raiders!
I was working in the fan cave late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. For my uncle from his mic began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise,
he did the mosh.
He did the Uncle Mosh.
The Uncle Mosh.
It was a podcast spot.
He did the mosh.
It caught on in a flash.
He did the mosh.
He did the Uncle Mosh from my fan cave in the way upstairs. To the tens of listeners that love his silver hairs. To the fans all came from their weekly chores to hear him rant and laugh and roar.
He did the mosh.
He did the Uncle Mosh.
The Uncle Mosh.
It was a podcast smash.
He did the mosh.
It caught on in a flash.
He did the mosh.
He did the Uncle Mosh. The YouTube was having fun, for the podcast had just begun. The guests included Q-Dog, Emiliano, Max, and Ron. The show was rocking, all were digging the chat. Lil Murf was on the air, sporting a new Raider hat. The other made men who never lag, all tuned in to hear the Sea of Fans mailbag. They did the Uncle Mosh.
The Uncle Mosh.
It was a podcast smash.
They heard the mosh.
It caught on in a flash.
They heard the mosh.
They heard the Uncle Mosh. Out from the YouTube, Mikey's voice did ring. Seems he was troubled by just one thing. He opened his mouth and he started to curse and said,
"Hey, whatever happened to Mondays with Mike and Murf?"
I don't know. It's now the Uncle Mosh.
The Uncle Mosh.
And it's a podcast smash.
It's now the mosh.
It's caught on in a flash.
It's now the mosh.
It's now the Uncle Mosh. Now everything's cool. Mikey's part of the cave. And my Uncle Mosh gets to rant and rave. For the Fan Club Blitz and RFR 2, when you listen to us, tell a Murf sent you.
Then you can mosh.
Then you can Uncle Mosh.
The Uncle Mosh.
And do a podcast smash.
Then you can mosh.
You'll catch on in a flash.
Then you can mosh.
Then you can Uncle Mosh.
Thank you for everything you've done for Raiders Fan Radio, Uncle Mosh.
Aw, thank you, Ben. Wow. Flashback, baby. Flashback.
Yeah. Hey, so thank you for those of you that have joined us tonight live in the chat. Freddie Chavez, Franklin 83, Chuckdown Raider, Tampa Raider, the Big Easy, Mike Lee, May Spitfire Crossbones, Aaron the Q-Dog Raider, Tyrone Graves, Chris Potts. I can't scroll up, but thank you to all of those of you that have joined us tonight live here in Murf's Fan Cave for episode number 147 of Raiders Fan Radio. We will see you in Oakland in just a few days. Come say hi. Come see what's up. D-Law, baby, check us out as the Raiders go to 4-4, and we beat the crap out of that Georgia-born Matthew Stafford and those chump Detroit Lions. Mosh, take us home.
Man, thanks everybody for listening tonight. For Murf, this is your old Uncle Mosh, the absent Swaggy J. You've been listening to Raiders Fan Radio, where we take a lighter side journey into the dark side. Remember, what happens in Vegas started in Oakland. We're loyal to the soil. Good night, everybody. God bless. Be safe.
Rico's in the chat room. What's up, Rico?
Come on, Rico. Tampa Raider. He's on fire. He did a split, and now he don't notice when he takes up. Tampa's on fire.